If you're listening from Seattle, Charlotte, or Austin, tonight's stories happened in your city. The dark web isn't some distant threat. Right now, someone's identity is being sold. Passwords, bank accounts, their entire life, packaged and priced for anyone willing to pay. Tonight, you'll hear 3 true dark web horror stories about real people who discovered they'd been turned into products. These aren't creepypasta. These are real police reports, real FBI investigations, and every person in tonight's stories thought they were safe. Turn off the lights and listen carefully, because your information might already be out there. I was 24 years old working as a software tester in Austin, Texas, when my roommate Jake walked into my bedroom at 2 a.m. holding his laptop. "Dude, you need to see this," he said. His face was pale. Jake was a cybersecurity student who spent half his nights exploring corners of the internet most people didn't know existed. He'd shown me weird stuff before. Black market sites, conspiracy forums, things like that. I usually just nodded and went back to whatever I was doing. But this time, he looked genuinely scared. "What is it?" I asked, sitting up. He set the laptop on my desk and pulled up a web page. A dark background, white text, minimalist design. It looked like some kind of marketplace. "I was researching threat actors for my thesis," he said. "I found this site. It's a murder for hire platform." I laughed. "Those are scams, man. Everyone knows that." "Marcus, look at the screen." I looked. The listing at the top of the page had my name on it. Target, Marcus Chen. Location, Austin, Texas. Age, 24. Bounty, 0.3 Bitcoin. Around $9,000. Status, open contract. Below that was a photo. My profile picture from LinkedIn. My stomach turned over. "What the fuck is this?" I said. "I don't know, but it's been up for 6 days." I stared at the screen. This had to be fake, some kind of elaborate prank. "Did you put this up?" I asked. Jake looked offended. "Are you serious? Why would I show you if I made it?" "Then who did?" "I have no idea. But there's more." He clicked into the listing. There was a comment section below it, anonymous users discussing the contract. User 7743, clean job or messy? User 2891, target looks soft, easy work. User 0456, poster hasn't been vetted, could be LEA bait. I felt sick. "This can't be real," I said. "This is someone messing with me." "Maybe," said Jake, "but what if it's not?" I didn't sleep that night. I sat at my desk refreshing the page over and over, watching the comment count increase. By morning, there were 23 comments. Jake wanted me to go to the police immediately, but I hesitated. What would I even say? Someone posted my name on a website I wasn't supposed to be able to access in the first place? Instead, I started going through everyone I knew, trying to figure out who might want to hurt me. I'd broken up with my girlfriend Emma 4 months earlier, but it had been mutual. We still followed each other on Instagram. I'd had a falling out with a coworker named Brett last year after I reported him for taking credit for my work, but he'd been fired and moved to a different state. I couldn't think of anyone who hated me enough to do this. On the 3rd day, Jake found something. "Look at the posting account's history," he said, pulling up his laptop. The user who'd posted the contract, going by the name Nightshift88, had made other posts before mine, mostly complaints about gaming communities, tech support forums, stuff like that. One post stood out. Sick of fake friends who would throw you away when you're not useful anymore. It was posted 2 weeks after I'd removed someone from our CSGO team. His name was Dylan. I never met him in person. We'd only played together online for about 8 months. He was good at the game, but he had a toxic attitude. He'd rage at teammates, blame everyone else for losses, and send nasty messages after matches. Eventually, the rest of the team voted to kick him out. Dylan had sent me a series of messages afterward, long paragraphs about betrayal, about how we'd ruined his life, and about how he'd trusted us and we'd stabbed him in the back. I'd blocked him and moved on. You think it's him? Jake asked. I don't know. Maybe. We need to go to the police, now. This time, I agreed. At the Austin Police Department, we were passed between 3 different officers before finally sitting down with a detective named Sarah Ortiz. She was in her 40s, looked tired, and clearly didn't want to deal with what sounded like internet drama. Let me get this straight, she said. You found your name on a darkweb hitman site? Yes, I said. And do you think it was posted by someone you kicked off a video game team? I think so. She wrote something down. Mr. Chen, I'm going to be honest with you. These sites are almost always scams. They take money from people and never follow through. The FBI monitors some of them, but mostly they're just frauds targeting angry people with too much money. But what if it's real? Jake said. Detective Ortiz sighed. If you're genuinely concerned, I can file a report, but unless there's a credible threat, someone showing up at your home, direct contact from this person, there's not much we can do. We filed the report. She took screenshots of the listing and said she'd look into it. I didn't feel any safer. Over the next week, I stopped going to the gym. I started working from home. I kept my curtains closed and checked the peephole before opening my door. Jake monitored the listing daily. The bounty increased to 0.5 Bitcoin. More comments appeared. Some users were skeptical, calling it fake. Others seemed interested. On day 12, the listing disappeared. Just gone. The entire page was deleted. Maybe the site admins removed it, Jake said. Or maybe someone accepted the contract. That night, I was walking to my car after picking up groceries when I noticed a man standing near the stairwell of my apartment building. He was watching me. I froze. He was maybe 30, wearing a black jacket and jeans. He didn't move, just stood there, hands in his pockets. I pulled out my phone and pretended to take a call, keeping him in my peripheral vision. He turned and walked away. I ran to my apartment and locked the door and called Jake. Someone was watching me, I said. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Jake came over. We called Detective Ortiz again. She said she'd sent a patrol car by, but there wasn't much else she could do. The next morning, I got an email from an address I didn't recognize. Subject: you should be more careful. Inside was a single sentence. I know where you work, where you live, and what car you drive. Watch your back. I forwarded it to Detective Ortiz immediately. This time, she took it seriously. This constitutes a credible threat, she said. We're going to trace this email. It took 3 days. The email was sent from a library computer in Round Rock, a suburb about 20 miles north of Austin. Security footage showed a young man using that computer at the time the email was sent. Police identified him as Dylan Voss, 26, unemployed, living with his parents. They arrested him the following week. He confessed almost immediately. He'd posted the listing using Bitcoin he'd saved from a previous job. He never intended to actually hire anyone. He just wanted to scare me. When the listing got more attention than he expected, he panicked and deleted it. The email was supposed to be his final warning to make me paranoid. Dylan was charged with cyberstalking and criminal threatening. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 18 months in prison plus probation. Detective Ortiz told me I was lucky. Most of these cases don't get solved, she said. If your roommate hadn't found that listing when he did, this could have gone very differently. I still think about that sometimes. How a decision in a video game led to someone posting my name on a murder-for-hire site. How close I came to ignoring it completely. I don't play competitive games anymore. I deleted my LinkedIn. I use a P.O. box instead of my home address for anything online. Because I learned that, on the internet, you're never as anonymous as you think. And neither are the people who want to hurt you. I was 22 years old, running a gaming YouTube channel with about 300,000 subscribers, when I got the email that almost got me killed. It came from a company called Vertex Gaming Peripherals. The email was from their marketing director, Adrian Cole. He said they wanted to fly me out to Los Angeles for a collaboration video, all expenses paid, plus $5,000 for the content. I'd done sponsorships before, but never anything this big. I replied immediately. Adrian responded within the hour with a contract, travel details, and a shooting schedule. Everything looked legitimate. The contract had legal language and payment terms, the flight was booked through a real travel agency, the hotel was a Marriott near LAX. I flew out on a Thursday morning in late September. Adrian had arranged for a car service, a black SUV with tinted windows and a driver holding a sign with my name. The driver didn't say much during the 40-minute drive, but when we pulled up to the address Adrian had given me, something felt wrong. It wasn't an office building. It was a warehouse in an industrial area near the port. Chain link fences, shipping containers, no other cars around. Are you sure this is right? I asked the driver. This is the address I was given, he said. I checked my phone. The address matched. The driver pulled away immediately after I got out. The building had a single metal door with a buzzer. I pressed it. A man's voice came through the intercom. Come on up, second floor. The door clicked open. Inside was a concrete stairwell, dimly lit with graffiti on the walls. It smelled like mildew and rust. I climbed the stairs to the second floor. At the top was another metal door, slightly ajar. Hello? I called out. In here, the voice said. I pushed the door open. The room was empty. Bare concrete walls, no furniture, no camera equipment. Just a single folding chair in the center. And a man standing in the corner. He was maybe 30, average height, wearing a black hoodie. He smiled when he saw me. You came, he said. Where's Adrian? I asked. I'm Adrian. My stomach dropped. No, you're not. I talked to Adrian on the phone. Voice changer, he said, holding up his phone. Pretty convincing, right? I backed towards the door. He moved faster than I expected, stepping between me and the exit. Don't, he said. His voice was calm, almost friendly. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to talk. I'm leaving. You can't. Not yet. And that's when I noticed the zip ties in his hands. I ran for the door. He grabbed my arm and yanked me backward. I screamed and tried to pull away, but he forced me into the chair and zip-tied my wrists behind my back. He sat down on the floor across from me, cross-legged. "Do you know who I am?" he asked. "No." "I've been watching your channel for 3 years. I've commented on almost every video. I've been to 2 of your meetups. You looked right at me in Denver." I didn't remember him. He pulled out his phone and showed me screenshots. Every video I'd ever posted, every Instagram story, every tweet. Photos of my apartment building, my car, places I'd been. "I know everything about you," he said. "Your address, your parents' address, your high school records. I bought your data from 3 different marketplaces. It cost me $200 in Bitcoin. Worth every penny." I felt sick. I'd heard about data breaches, about people selling personal information on the dark web, but I never thought someone would actually use it like this. He told me about his job as an IT support tech, his apartment in Burbank, how he'd spent years building fake identities online to interact with me. He was Adrian Cole. He was also half a dozen other people who'd commented on my videos, sent me business inquiries, even applied to be my video editor last year. "You rejected me," he said. "You didn't even respond to my application. I get hundreds of messages." "You could have responded to me." He'd been planning this for 8 months. The fake company, the contract, the travel arrangements, all designed to get me here. "What happens now?" I asked. "Now we wait for you to understand that we're meant to be together." I realized he actually believed this. He thought if he kept me here long enough, I'd somehow see him the way he saw me. I needed to play along. "Why me?" I asked. "Out of everyone you could have watched, why my channel?" His face lit up. He started talking about the first video of mine he'd seen, how my commentary made him laugh, how he felt like I was talking directly to him. I let him talk. I asked questions. I acted interested. After another hour, he untied one of my hands so I could drink water. "See?" he said. "This isn't so bad." "No," I lied. "It's not." He relaxed. He sat closer, showed me more photos on his phone. His phone was in his lap, unlocked. My right hand was free. I grabbed the phone and threw it across the room as hard as I could. It hit the concrete wall and shattered. He lunged for it. I stood up, chair still attached to my left hand, and ran for the door. I made it to the stairwell before he caught up. He grabbed the chair and yanked me backward. I fell hard, hitting my shoulder on the concrete steps. "Why did you do that?" he yelled. "I was being nice to you." I kicked at him. He tried to grab my legs. Then I heard voices below, people entering the building. "Help!" I screamed. "Someone help me!" He froze. Then he ran, back into the room, toward another exit. 2 men appeared at the bottom of the stairs. They saw me, saw the zip ties, and immediately called 911. By the time the police arrived, Brandon was gone. They found his car 3 blocks away, abandoned. Inside were more photos of me, printed and organized in binders. My home address was written on a notepad, along with my parents' address. Police also found a laptop in his apartment with Tor browser installed and bookmarks to forums where users discussed target acquisition and counter-surveillance. He'd posted about me there, asking for advice on how to approach someone who didn't know they were in love yet. His real name was Brandon Voss, 31, unemployed, living in Burbank. Police arrested him at his apartment 6 hours later. He was charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, and stalking. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. The FBI told me Brandon had tried this before with another YouTuber in 2019. She'd gotten away before he could grab her and never reported it. They only connected the cases after finding his posts on the same darkweb forum where he detailed both attempts. I testified at his sentencing. I wanted him to see that I wasn't the person he'd imagined. I deleted my channel 3 months after it happened. Some people said I was letting him win by quitting. But I couldn't interact with strangers online without wondering if one of them was planning something like this. I work in graphic design now. Private clients, no social media presence, no public face. I still check over my shoulder in parking lots. I still freeze when I see black SUVs. My therapist says it'll get better with time. I hope she's right, because I learned that some people don't see you as a person. They see you as a character they've invented. And no amount of reality will change their mind. I was 19 years old, halfway through my sophomore year at UT Austin, when I saw the job posting that nearly destroyed my life. It was on LinkedIn, a remote position for a graphic design assistant at a startup called Apex Digital Solutions. The pay was $25 an hour, fully remote and flexible hours. I applied immediately. 2 days later, I got an email from someone named David Marsh, the company's founder. He wanted to schedule a video interview. The interview went well. David seemed professional, mid-30s, button-down shirt, modern office background. At the end, he offered me the position. "I'll send over the contract and NDA today," he said. "We work with high-profile clients, so confidentiality is extremely important." The contract arrived that afternoon. It looked legitimate. Standard employment terms, payment schedule, non-disclosure agreement. There was a section requiring me to verify my identity by uploading a photo of my driver's license along with a selfie holding it. I hesitated. It seemed like a lot of personal information. But I'd applied to a dozen remote positions that semester, and half had similar requirements. I took the photo and uploaded it. David sent me my first assignment 2 days later, designing social media graphics for a fitness app. I spent 6 hours on it, delivered on time, got positive feedback. For 2 weeks, everything seemed normal. I completed 4 more projects. David was professional, payments came through, and I was building my portfolio. Then everything changed. I was working on a class presentation when I got a message from David on Slack. "David Marsh, we need to talk, call me now." His tone was different, urgent, angry. I called immediately. "You leaked confidential client information," he said. "I just got off the phone with our legal team. This is a massive breach of your NDA." My stomach dropped. "I didn't leak anything. You posted about one of our clients on your Instagram story yesterday. Their company name, project details. Do you have any idea how much trouble this causes?" I scrolled through my Instagram. I hadn't posted anything work-related. "I didn't post anything," I said. "Don't lie to me, I have screenshots." He sent me an image. It was my Instagram account, my profile picture, but the story showed a post I'd never made, a screenshot of project files with a client's name visible. "That's not me," I said. "Someone faked that." "Save it. Our legal team's involved. You signed an NDA. You violated it. We can sue you for damages." I started crying. "Please, I didn't do this." "There's a way to fix this," David said, his voice suddenly calmer. "If you cooperate, we can keep this out of court." "What do you mean?" "I need you to do exactly what I say. No questions. If you follow my instructions, this goes away." I was terrified. I was 19, convinced I was about to be sued for something I didn't do. "Okay," I said. The first task was simple. Create a 1-star review of a woman's business on Google, claiming she'd scammed me. I did it. I felt sick, but I did it. The next day, he had me send a threatening email from a burner account. The message said things like, "I know where you live and watch your back." I told David I couldn't do it. "You want me to release those screenshots?" he said. "You want me to send your driver's license to every design firm in Texas?" I sent the email. Over the next 3 weeks, the tasks escalated. Catfish people on dating apps and collect their information. Post fake job listings to harvest resumes. Create fake social media accounts to harass people. Every time I resisted, he reminded me what he had. My driver's license, my address, my social security number, screenshots I couldn't prove were fake. I stopped going to class. I stopped eating. My roommate Emma asked what was wrong, but I couldn't tell her. One night, Emma found me on the floor at 3 a.m. staring at my laptop. "What's going on?" she asked. I broke down and told her everything. Emma didn't judge me. She just said, "We're calling the police right now." At the station, we met with Detective Carlos Mendoza. He listened to everything, looked through my emails and messages. "You're not the first person this has happened to," he said. He explained this was a specific blackmail scheme. The company doesn't exist. The identity verification harvests data that gets sold on darkweb marketplaces. Driver's license, selfies, social security numbers. Sometimes they use it for blackmail. Other times they resell it in bulk. "We've been tracking schemes that operate through Tor-based job boards," he continued. "The fake screenshots, burner accounts, escalating demands. Those tactics get shared on forums where people teach each other how to run these operations." They traced everything back to a 32-year-old man in Florida named Robert Klein. Klein had been running this for over a year, targeting dozens of college students through fake job postings. He was arrested 3 weeks later. When police searched his apartment, they found a laptop with Tor browser installed and bookmarks to marketplaces selling identity verification packages. They also found spreadsheets tracking his victims, names, addresses, what information he had, what tasks he'd assigned. My name was on that list. So were 47 others. About 2 months after Klein's arrest, I got a message on Instagram from a girl named Sarah. She'd seen a news article about the case. "Was his company called Apex Digital Solutions?" she wrote. "Yes," I replied. "He got me too, 2 years ago. I never reported it." We met for coffee. She'd done the same things, harassed people, posted fake reviews, sent threatening emails. She dropped out of school because of it. And that's when it really hit me. Klein had been doing this for years, and even though he was caught, the damage was permanent. Robert Klein pleaded guilty to identity theft, extortion, and cyberstalking across multiple states. He was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison. I testified at his sentencing. I wanted him to see my face. I wanted him to know I wasn't just a name on a spreadsheet. He didn't look at me once. I graduated last year and got a design job in Dallas. I'm doing okay, most days. But I still struggle with what I did. The people I harassed, the fake reviews I posted, the emails I sent. My therapist says I was a victim, that Klein manipulated me using fear and coercion. Legally, that's true. But I'm the one who typed those messages. I'm the one who clicked send. I'm careful now about who I share information with online. I verify every company through multiple sources. I never give out personal information until I've had video calls with multiple people from the organization. And I never apply to remote positions that ask for identity verification before a contract is signed. Because I learned that some people don't need much to control you. Just one mistake. Just one moment of trust. That's all it takes.